Welcome to Stories of Brisco and Bradshaw. I would be Bradshaw, and that would be your Chickasaw native, your Chickasaw Hall of Famer, Oklahoma's favorite son, Mr. Gerald Brisco. And we got a treat today. One of the great characters, one of the great tag teams of the Attitude Era, one of the great tag teams in wrestling history, in WWE history. Former tag team champions, got a wonderful book out now. Real Men Wear Skirts. Not completely convinced that's true, but we're going to find out if it is. He is Mr. Chaz Warrington. He's a good friend of mine and ours. Chaz, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Wait a minute. I thought it was beneath the skirt. Which one is it?
Oh, I'm sorry, beneath the skirt.
It's beneath the
He
skirt.
had on his thing, Real Men Wear Skirts there on his.
I said, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I got the book title wrong, but his shirt title right. Beneath the skirt.
Yes.
Welcome.
Are you wearing a skirt now?
I am not wearing a skirt right now, as we were just.
Are you wearing anything
discussing
right now?
before.
Are you like Winnie the Pooh? You got no pants on?
No, I do have pants on. It's a little chilly down here. So, yeah, no, pants are definitely needed today. No doubt about it. Yeah. Pants, socks. If I go outside, I got a jacket on. It's cold. I don't like it.
Beneath the skirt. I apologize for getting your.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll get there somehow. We'll get there.
We'll get there. So, Chaz, tell me, because people have always, everybody's always thinking about writing a book. Why did you write a book?
I kind of started it was kind of a thing. I was just jotting some things down for my son. He has really no idea about the career I had because he was born way after I left WWE. And I kind of just started writing things down just as kind of to do it for him. And then actually what happened was I read Pete Gass's book. And the way Pete wrote his book, and John, I know you did the forward for it, but the way
I love Pete. Pete, what a good dude.
I love Pete too. We go watch micro wrestling together all the time. Can't wait. We're going in a couple
I've
weeks.
never been to micro. I'm going to cut you off, but I'm so excited to go see micro wrestling.
Oh, it's so much fun. They are so much fun.
Do they tour in Florida a lot? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm interested in this micro. I want to hit them all with trash cans.
Yes, no, they have a rule because I've tried getting in the ring because the good part is they recognize who we are, so they kind of will incorporate us into the show. Like they talk shit on the microphone because there's nothing we can do about it. And I asked him one time, I said, listen, let me slide in. I want to do a run in. Let me slide in. And like all six of you, just with your little arms, just pummel me like this, pick me up, shoot me in, give me like a 6-person backdrop. I'll sell out. And he goes, we have one rule here. And I said, what's that? He goes, no biggers allowed. I go, biggers. He goes, you call us midgets, we call you biggers. I'm like, fair enough.
So they're prejudice.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are.
That's discriminatory.
It's very discriminatory. Yes, I was highly offended for about 3 seconds, and then I got over it. But
they all started attacking you around the knees, right?
Yes, they did. It felt like little chihuahuas biting my ankles.
They're big in stepladder matches.
Yes,
they're good on hand and knee combat.
They're really good.
JBL has made a post wrestling career beating up little guys like Hornswoggle.
Yes, I have.
Well, that was his whole career, beating up little guys. So
that's pretty much it.
There's no difference.
That's pretty much it. Hornswoggle was mad at me at first because I ruined his WrestleMania moment. Then it became a meme and a gif, and then he flew me up to Wisconsin. Of course, he had his son hit me with a trash can, so maybe that was the reason he flew me.
Chad, did you ever see the projectile of that trash can that John threw?
No, I don't think.
It wasn't one of those. That I'm gonna hit you with a can. It was one of these. I'm going to throw this can. I'm going to take your damn head off.
It was a soccer throw into the other side of the field.
Exactly, man. If it would have missed and gone in on us, he would have killed 3 people out there.
That's right. I snuck over and I thought, I'm going to get him. And I snuck over to the trash can and I turned as fast as I could. I turned like Nolan Ryan. I threw that thing at him. I wish you could have seen it from my point of view. He looked up with his little eyes, like, and then he took off running with his little legs. And I got him. Ass over tea kettle.
Now I got to look that up. Now I got to see it. I got to look that up now.
Yes, you will enjoy it very much. I promise you will.
That's awesome. I love it.
And it was Hornswoggle, so it's well deserved.
Yeah, it's Hornswoggle. So
it's like hitting Chimmel. Nobody's going to feel sorry for him.
No one's going to feel sorry. And, you do it and he gets mad and then he gets over it. And then you do it again and he gets mad and he gets over it. Then you do it again. Right. It's like the same thing. It's Groundhog Day all over again. Yeah,
it is. All over. So sorry I diverted from because
listen, anytime I can talk about micros and little people and listen, I want to call them midgets because in Swoggle's book he says I am a midget.
Don't on this show here. You'll get
he says in his book I am a midget. So it's okay.
That's what he likes. I've used the term midget because Hornswoggle likes that term. Like, oh, dude, that's incorrect. People are like, What?
I took a picture of his book. I have his book. I took a picture of it and I go and say, here's a guy who's a midget. It says right here, it's okay to call me a midget. So it's okay.
Yeah, we have permission from
Yeah,
Hornswoggle.
I feel vindicated. Yes.
So you
There
and
you
Pete go to micro wrestling.
Yes, Pete and
That's
I
the
go.
greatest thing I've ever heard.
Yes, Pete and I go because Pete lives about 20 minutes north of me. So we go. There's this little place called Renegades. It's a country western bar. And actually, the first time I went, I didn't even know Pete was there. And this kid, at this point, he had a big old grizzly beard. And this guy comes walking across the bar with this look on his face. I was like, oh, shit, who did I piss off? And here it was Pete. And yeah, from that point forward, we try to go as much as we possibly can when we're both here. It's so much fun. And like I said, they incorporate us in. I have pictures and videos of Pete and I always sit in the front row. They always put us right in the front of my foot up with the other midget hit me in the foot. And it's just so much fun.
But they're discriminatory. They won't allow biggers in the ring.
Yeah,
They won't let us in the ring, but we can give them some violence on the outside with our foot. Yes.
Well, that means you could close out or throw a trash can on the outside.
That's right.
So you're still in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just do it outside.
I can just see you throw a catch and all of a sudden 20 of those little guys attack your ass.
Just start piling on top.
Or what we can do is see how many we can stuff into the trash can and then throw the trash can at them.
There you go. Very good.
A little different angle. Yes.
Now we're good somewhere.
I'm glad we're calling spots for them.
Yes. They'll appreciate that.
And Hornswoggle, if you ever worked with him, is the heaviest little guy you've ever seen in your life.
Is he? No, I've never worked with him.
It's like picking up King Kong Bundy.
Oh, geez.
All those guys were like that. They got a way of making themselves heavy. Something. I picked up Jamaica. What was Jamaica guy?
The Jamaican kid?
Jamaican kid in Australia one time. I thought he weighed 300 pounds. By the time I got him up. They just kind of sink down on you.
They're bottom heavy. That's the problem. They're bottom heavy and can't jump. They're bottom heavy, can't jump, and have zero athletic ability. So
they're not very good.
No.
Oh, that guy John, that's mean.
That is mean because not everybody.
Those micros are sitting there watching us saying, "Let's help me now. We'll show them how."
Listen, you know what's going to happen? Mini Vader, Mini Mankind, they're all going to come out after us now.
That's right. They're all going to jump us somewhere.
After you guys, I'm the nice guy of this threesome here today. So, John, could we get back to
Sorry, I got excited about the micro guys.
Listen, I'm good talking about micros. It's fine. Like, let's go.
We're here to plug this, man.
Yes.
Beneath the skirt. I'll get it right this time.
Beneath the skirt. Right.
So
you should have holding up a cheat sheet here.
Yeah, so I basically
that's how you got through college, so you should know how to do that.
He got through college by being beneath the skirt?
You know what? Yeah, that too.
Something.
Listen, whatever works.
It certainly wasn't grades.
Whatever works. But yeah, so basically started as a thing, just like kind of a little memoir for my son, just to writing down kind of things I went through, stuff like that. And then after I read Pete's book, I went, because, John, you hear it all the time. Jerry, you've been there, like, oh, you guys should write a book. And I'm like, the stuff I put in the book, I don't know if I can, statute of limitations has run out, like stuff we did on the road. But the way Pete wrote his book about like thoughts and what he was going on behind the scenes and kind of what he went through in his story, kind of went, there's a lot there that I could go through. So what ended up happening was, as I was writing it, I realized like everyone watched, things unfold on TV. So I made it more of my thoughts of what was going on in my head, my insecurities, what I was going through behind the scenes while everyone else, watch what, was unfolding on TV. And then especially the Memphis days, the Smoky Mountain days, the Arkansas days, on the territories, because that's a lost thing now. And, Glenn and I, there was a lot of tension and friction with us to get to where we got. So that was kind of it. So it was kind of an inspiration just to jot some things down for my son. And then when I read Pete's book, I went, shit, I can easily write a book now.
Did you write it yourself, or did you have somebody assisting you? Because you did. You cover so much. It's a hell of a read here. I read it the last 3 days here.
Thank you. Nope, I wrote it myself. So I wrote off and on, more off than on, probably for the last 6 or 7 years. And then last October, I went up for a high school reunion, and there was a girl there who turns out she's an editor / ghostwriter Tori, she's ended up being kind of my writing coach. So I was talking to her about it, and she was like, "Oh, well, send me what you have." And at that point, I was probably about 75% done. And she goes, "I love this." She goes, "I think you got something here." She goes, "I'd love to work with you on this." So what it was I just kept writing, and she started from the beginning and like was giving me ideas, notes, and things like that. And as I wrote it all, then she kind of just, told me maybe switch this, maybe switch that, kind of change things up a little bit. So yeah, so that's all me. And then when I got with the publisher, we got an editor to go through just to make sure, grammar and things like that were good. But nope, that was all me, no ghostwriting done.
Now, were you like Mick Foley? I'm sure you guys remember Mick when he was writing his first book there. He'd carry around that yellow legal pad and a pencil all the time. All of a sudden, he would just stop writing right in the middle of a conversation and write something down. Did thoughts come to you? I mean, how did you collect those thoughts? In the middle of the night, did you get up in the middle of the night and start writing, or
yeah, so thoughts came to me often. Actually, the more I was writing, the more I started remembering. And then things I would remember, I actually just made a list on my phone. I went to Siri or Alexa and just said, "Hey, add this to my," I had, a notebook set up in there, and I would just add it that way. And then the internet was great because these thoughts and ideas kind of helped me keep everything chronological. But there was no pencil or legal pad, because if you saw my handwriting, I wouldn't have been able to understand what I wrote. So I just
especially in the middle of the night. They say, wake up in the middle of the night, right back and note. Right. I did that, and I couldn't read. What the hell does this mean?
Yeah. So I literally would wake up in the middle of the night and have my phone there and tell Siri, "Hey, add this to the book list." And then I would get up in the morning and it was there. Because my problem is if I wake up or during the day, if something's in my head, I have to get it out, or I'm so focused on it that I can't think of anything else. I can't focus on anything else. So I'd get it out, I'd get it on there. And then when I sat down to write, I would open up the notes on my phone and it was all there.
Yeah, reading your book, go ahead, John.
Did you have any problems with the same? Because when I wrote my book, it's kind of half financial book, half, kind of bios type book. But I would have the same story like 3 times, because I'd write it and then I'd get bored with it, because we're not writers, we're just,
right.
And then you get bored with it, you go back to it and write something else. And then I realized I got the same story like 3 times in different parts of the book. Did you have that happen?
Not that particular way, but what I had happen was I was describing things. I found I was describing things the same way, or like using the same terminology. So I was like, oh, I got to think of a different creative way just to explain this. Because the way mine went with being chronological, I kind of just kept going that way. So there wasn't a lot of repeat stuff. But the hard part was trying to come up with different ways to explain something. And the really hard part is, finding out, we're winning the tag titles. Like, how do you put that into words? Like, that's the part where, I struggled sometimes going, how do I really get that across in words? I'm working on the audio version right now, and I think the audio version will be easier to get that across. But putting the feeling of something on paper, because paper's kind of emotionless sometimes. It's like a text. There's no real emotion in it. And I couldn't really add like a bunch of heart emojis in the book with something. So that was the hardest part for me, as far as not being repetitive and just describing the same things, describing something else the same way.
So
one of the hard parts for me would be trying to, what are you going to leave out? I mean, did you ever start a story and said, "Man, I can't do this," or was you perfect honest with yourself and put in what you felt?
Yeah, there's quite a few things I left out. I left a lot of road stories out from this.
Your road stories are fantastic, by the way.
I know some of them I would have sold 1 million copies by now if I was talking about Snickers bars and pizza and some things like that. But I didn't. Those are stories for me. Anything I didn't want my son to know did not go in the book, because I figured that's something him and I can talk about over a campfire one night, having a beer and smoking a cigar. I didn't want it to be a dirt book. I didn't want to talk shit about anybody. There are some parts in there where I talk about people and you can kind of get your own drift of how I felt about them, things like that. But yeah, I just was kind of just trying to keep the emotion in it of, how I was feeling. So there was some stuff I left out, which could be part of, another edition of this.
Part 2.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's you're sitting around telling stories and people say, "Oh, you should put this in a book." And you're like, No,
No,
I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah.
no,
You know,
exactly.
and I really don't want to bash anybody, and I mean, I don't mind it that much, but
No, because I didn't really have anybody that I disliked or really didn't get along with. There was people that I was like, you both know how it is. There's people you get along with better than others. There's people that annoy you. There's people
And
who
there's people that you just don't travel with or stay in a hotel room with.
right. Like I'm not going to go have a beer with them or get a sandwich with them, but there's no reason to bash them. In Memphis in the day, like Brian Christopher messed with us. But when he got up to the WWE locker room, he had to turn into a different person because he wasn't in his bond anymore, which we all know. So, there's things like that, but I didn't really have a reason to bash anybody. For the most part, I got along with everybody or I just hid in the corner.
Your book is very positive, and it kind of reflects your personality too. And you're very positive, always a very positive person on the road there. Did you ever start writing something that, man, this is just too depressing? I just don't want to put this in there.
No, I don't think depressing, therapeutic, maybe. There was a lot of things, even with Glenn.
I read where you said it was real therapeutic to you. You were going to get into describing it.
Yeah, so like there's parts of like Glenn and I when we had issues when we were, in the territories and we were kind of going a different way. He was more worried about keeping the house over his head and what we were focused to do there, with some of the sponsors we had to helping us and things like that. So, the little arguments we had, it actually felt good to get that out on paper instead of always having it in my head. And part of it, when Glenn and I are together, like we're still doing shows and conventions and stuff. Sometimes like I bring it up now. So it helped. It's helped me to bring it up. And then I don't know if confront him with it is the right way to put it, but for us to actually discuss it and talk about it.
You guys were so damn young when you started getting together. I didn't realize you were that young. You were just still in high school. You're still doing amateur wrestling, right?
Well, I was amateur wrestling, but it was in college. Yeah, so it was in college and it was just like AAU stuff. It wasn't anything like major. It was more AAU stuff. But yeah, that's how we actually knew of each other because our high schools wrestled one another. So when we met and we started talking, we were like, oh shit. So literally we grew up 15, 20 minutes away from one another.
So you 18, 19 years old when you first decided this is the road I'm going to go on?
I was just like 20. I was like 21, 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is Glenn going to write a book to answer what you've written about him?
No, no. No.
Now you're chuckling.
Wait a minute.
What's Glenn going to think about this chuckle? You don't think Glenn is capable of writing a book or what?
Right. There's something here.
I'm going to stay, Terry. I'm going to stay very positive. Hell no, he ain't got a chance.
Okay.
When I ask, wait a minute. When I ask, is Glenn going to write a book to answer you, and you just start laughing? That's not positive.
No, that's not been a positive person. I'm sorry. You need to go see a therapist.
So did you read the back cover?
I did.
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah,
I read all this stuff here.
Yeah, the part that Glenn wrote. Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, so the part that so John, the part that Glenn wrote, yes, is on the back of the book.
Wait a minute.
That's three damn paragraphs.
Part that Glenn wrote.
One.
there is a lot of going on here that's not being said.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I've made fun of him for it. I said to him, hey, do you want to write like a blurb or something for the book? And his response back was, what's a blurb? And I go, oh, well, it's a little thing about me that will help promote the book. And you'll see the back of the book where he writes, when I walked into the Monster Factory in June of '93 and we met and we just clicked, and how Larry told him not to start a tag team. And then he wrote something about us being his longest relationship ever. That's what he sent me. It was like 4 lines. And I go, oh, that's very creative. He goes, thanks. I thought it was good. He goes, are you being sarcastic? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's something like tease a story or something that I can use, to help sell the book. And his story was something that wasn't in the book. And it's a funny story because we used to do it. We did it to Shamrock a bunch of times until Shamrock caught us one time in a hotel and we stopped doing it. We would take the trash can and fill it up with water halfway. and then lean it up against the door, and then we would knock on Kenny's door and run. So when you open the door, the hotel doors open inward, the water would fall over your feet, gets the floor wet. That's the story he gave. I go, I can't use that story. It's not in the book. So I had to kind of make it a little better, I guess.
Do you think it might have been?
And then when I gave Glenn, here's the best part. When I gave Glenn the book, I was like, here, the book's out. Like, hold it. And he looks at it right to the back, and he's looking at it. He goes, man, the back's amazing. I'm like, you're welcome. I made you sound literate.
Yeah. Well, after hearing that story, neither one of them were too damn smart pulling
No
that
kidding.
Ken Shamrock.
Yeah,
I mean, cool.
You might want to rip somebody that didn't win the UFC when they're
that's not going to kill you.
I didn't have to be faster than Kenny. I just had to be faster than Glenn, and I was. I was okay.
Better be.
Yeah. Now you and Glenn originally got a lot of heat for being friends, or for Glenn kind of befriending you, right? According to your book,
down at the school, yeah. So Glenn, Glenn was the trainer. He was Larry's champ, and everyone kind of looked up to him. Glenn was always the center of attention. And when he decided to tag with me, it changed the whole dynamic of my training. All of a sudden, either guys didn't want to get in the ring, they didn't want to help, or when I was in the ring with them, things became stiff. And there was actually a couple times where I got hit, and Glenn looked at me. He goes, you know what you're doing, protect yourself. And I went, okay. So I was able to, give it back a few times. And then when we went to Memphis for the first time, we went back, it kind of changed because I was gone and I came back. The guys started looking at me a little bit differently because I'd been away, and I guess I kind of made it because we went to USWA. But at first it wasn't, it didn't go over very well. The person who actually accepted it and helped the most was D'Lo, and D'Lo was still, just green in training. He had trained himself and doing his whole thing. And then Larry brought him in, and he helped us a lot when Glenn and I first started tagging with. He wasn't afraid to take the bumps to help us figure out how to do some of the double team things we wanted to do, especially our finisher, the stage dive.
How long was the training?
So I started in June of '93. That first week in July, we went up to do WWF TV, do a squash match. I was 3 weeks in, at a squash match against Adam Baum. The next night was Papa Shango. And then I had my first real match, what I would consider a real match, at the school in September. And then, so that was September of '93. And then April of '94, less than a year, is when we packed up the car and went to USWA to Memphis.
Well, something happened to you with Papa Shango that happened to me in training with Papa Shango that happened to me at a real match. And throwing the punches. I wasn't allowed to throw a punch for the first 6 months I was in the business after I threw a punch, and hit Wally Von Stroheim in the ear and gave him a cauliflower ear. He didn't know it was his fault. He didn't know I was left-handed. And so he turned right into the damn thing. But after I came back, you can't throw a punch for 6 months, kid, until you learn how to throw a punch. So tell us about Papa Shango.
Wait a minute. Did Wally have a cauliflower ear the rest of his life?
The rest of his life, he used to walk around here in Florida because he owned the mattress company here in Florida. He'd walk around, come over the body shop. Anybody come in, see this here? He did it to me when he was a kid.
He had a Jerry ear.
Yeah, Jerry ear.
Yeah, Papa was great that night too, because he had so much patience. I think of me now, like if I had a conversation with someone in the locker room and they were doing to me what I did to him, I'd just be like, okay, kid, you're like, I'll see you out there. He had so much patience with me. It was awesome. I was so thankful for that. And then to me, the funniest part is all the years we were together in the locker room. Like, I never told him the story until years later when we were at WrestleCon out in California, and he had the Papa Shango makeup on. And that's when I went up to him and I told him, and then we sat there and we watched it on YouTube together, the match, which was funny.
How did you do?
I did great. I threw 3 kicks. I got 3 kicks in, and then I got the big squash out of the corner, and that was it. I was done.
We were wrestling one night, and I said, hit me with that big, what did he call it? The hoe train. He hit it with the hoe train.
Yeah.
That's what he called it later. I said, hit me with the hoe train. And he goes, don't worry about it. We'll do it tomorrow. I said, it's the finish. You're going over. and he says, sorry, I'm high. Well, hit me with something. You're supposed to win.
Roll me up.
He's the best.
I gotta fall down. He is. He's awesome. I love him.
Oh, yeah. He is such a good dude.
Yes, 100%.
So after the training there, you go to the USWA, and where did from USWA? How'd you end up at Smoky Mountain? But was that right away, or did you come back to Jersey first?
No, we went home to Jersey, and then Burt Prentice called us. He left USWA, and he was starting his own thing in Arkansas called Ozark Mountain Wrestling. So Glenn and I went there for probably about a year and a half. And the last couple months of that is when he started bringing in Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, Tracy Smothers. He started bringing guys in from Smoky. And then we ended up we worked Ricky and Robert, and then Robert didn't come back. I guess it was too far of a drive for him. And then we were working Ricky and Tracy, and they kept going back and telling Cornette about us. But Glenn had met Cornette when he had first started. So Glenn kind of knew of Cornette. And then, then all of a sudden one day we got the call from Cornette that, hey, I want to bring you guys in. We have a tag team here. It was the Gangsters at the time. He goes, they're going to be finishing up. Would like to bring you guys in and take their spot. He said, but he goes, I don't like the hoods, because Glenn and I were still wrestling as the Spiders then. And he goes, I don't like the masks.
I love that.
Yeah. He goes, I don't like the masks. He goes, but he goes, I had this idea. He was at a Glenn Danzig concert in New York. And he said, these guys there was heavy metal music. He goes, they're wearing makeup and dresses and skirts, and it had earrings and piercings. He goes, it was just crazy. He goes,
I will stop you right there. What did you think when he said they're wearing skirts?
I knew Glenn was kind of shocked. I knew what he was talking about because I listened to that music. I've been to the concerts with the stage diving and the mosh pits and the slam dancing. So I knew the weird outfits he was speaking of. So to me, it didn't really shock me much. I mean, I never wore a skirt when I went to those, but to Glenn, it was pretty shocking.
Who was telling you this?
Cornette.
Cornette was telling you this about.
And that's the thing. Cornette, how the hell did he know about skirts?
How does Cornette know about a concert in New York? He hates the place, and he hates
there.
He
was there. I remember the story. He told the story. I've heard it.
The funniest part is Cornette was at the concert, and then he told us. He goes, oh, it was this crazy person who opened for Glenn Danzig, and here the person that opened ended up being Marilyn Manson. And that's what I was like, what the hell are you doing, first of all, in New York and at this concert? I never found out why he was there.
You talk about out of place.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
There's dark in the building.
Yeah, so that's how we ended up at Smoky, and we were there for like 6 months, and then Cornette put the belt on Wildflower Tommy Rich, and the territory shut down the next day.
So Tommy killed Smoky Mountain.
Tommy killed it all in one day. Literally, They put the belt on. It was around Thanksgiving. They put the belt on, and we found out it was shutting down.
Fired up, Brisco. Fired up.
That's right. That's right. The hottest baby face in the world in the 80s shut down Smoky Mountain in the 90s.
Yes.
In a day.
In one day.
One day.
Does Tommy still have the belt?
He's probably pawned it. I would imagine he's pawned it for something. I don't know. I just saw.
Gotta get a smoke. I gotta get a bag of smoke.
I just saw a clip of him the other day. He was in Memphis. He was on Memphis TV. I guess his Memphis wrestling is being resurrected. I don't know how long ago it was.
Maybe he's there to drop the strap.
Maybe.
That's right. He's dropping the Smoky Mountain strap. Yeah.
So as you're going along, you hit Smoky Mountain. You're there when Tommy breaks it down. What closes it down? What's your next move after that?
The next move was we went home and I started working at the car wash. Because I had,
what happened to Sam's Club? You done told Sam.
I was done at Sam's Club before we went to Memphis the first time.
He finally told him take this job.
I actually told me to take it and leave because I had a time card discrepancy and the guy fired me.
Oh yeah. Over a break, you were out.
Yeah,
smoking with Tommy probably or something.
Yeah, probably yes. I was watching Tommy films on how to smoke. So we went back home and then we just started doing indies. We did
was the guy just a dick? I mean, come on, it's a break, your Sam's Club.
That guy was a dick. That was the guy in the book. It was the same manager who basically, when I had that first match and they showed it on TV, at the end of the meeting, it was against Papa was the match they showed. That was my first TV match. At the end of the match, he goes, all right, let's go out there and have a great day. Don't be a loser like Chaz, be a winner like
no. So
his
they're
opponent."
your colleagues at Sam's Club watching the show.
He was just an asshole from years before. So it actually didn't surprise me. And it was kind of cool because he was like, we need all of your Sam's Club merchandise, anything you had that's property of Sam's. And I had a Sam shirt on.
I love this.
Dropped it. I took it off.
And walk right through the store without a shirt.
I walked through the store with no shirt on. Yes. Walked out like this. Like, yeah, I'm out.
What a dick.
Yeah.
Do you have a Sam's Club membership today, or are you barred for life?
I do not, but later in the book, there's a great one. There wasn't a lot of times like I flaunted like making it or, making a little bit of money. But when I got the opportunity with him, I did. I bought a house and I went back to Sam's because my girlfriend at the time was still working there. So I went back to Sam's to buy a TV, and my brother had zero patience. And he was like, I wanted this 50-inch TV. And there was a TV on the shelf. My brother's there with the flat cart, and he's like, just put it on the cart. Like, it's right here. Let's go. And I'm like, they told us to wait here for a reason. There's a reason we have to wait. He's like, no, let's go. Fine. We put it on. We walk out the door. I get the stupid thing home. It's like a 35-inch, 40-inch TV. Like, it's not the TV I bought. So I had to go back the next day, and Glenn went with me. Go back the next day, and I'm explaining what happened. So this guy, Gary, he was the manager. He's the one who fired me. He walked up, and he goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, I explained, like, I got this TV, like, it's the wrong one they put on the cart. Of course, I blamed it on them. Said to put it on the cart. He goes, 50-inch TV. He goes, big WWF superstar, you can't afford the 60-inch TV? And I went, you don't have a 60-inch TV here. He goes, they just came in. And I go, show me the TV. So we walk over. He shows me the TV. I go, put that bitch on the cart and go put it in my truck.
There you go.
And we go up to pay. It was like here's the crazy part. It was like a $600 difference for the TV. And I said, I'm like, I don't have my credit card. And he goes, I guess you can't afford it. And I went, hold on a minute. And I had my little fanny pack on. I opened it up and I pulled out hundreds and just slammed 6 of them on the counter. And then I looked at it and I looked at Glenn. I go, we still have enough to go to the strip club later. I'm like, put that shit on the truck.
Tremendous.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun.
Nearly everybody has somebody in their life that they want to stick it up their ass. Just when you make it, somebody that has said something stupid, somebody that's a hater. But it's fun when you get to do that.
Yes, it was perfect timing. Like I couldn't have written it any better.
and it really not the credit card was even not having your credit card was even better because you could take out that cold hard cash.
Yes, and slam it on it, and I counted all out. Oh shit, counted them out like individually. Like here you go.
Don't get hot. Don't get hot.
Listen, I'm getting excited now. What happens?
But you had him carry it all the way to your car, right?
Oh yeah, I had him put it on the flatbed, and
he loaded.
He called somebody over, and I was like, no, I want you to do it. Here's the general manager loading a TV in the back of a truck.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
So now, are you thinking at this time you're now going to be a headbanger the rest of your life with the skirt?
I mean, listen, you're APA for the rest of your life. We are.
Yeah, I understand, but I mean that's before you got the WWE, right? So you weren't sure if you're going to stay.
Yeah, back then we had no idea. Back then it was
you could have been a spider the rest of your life. Though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because once 100%, I'm APA until I die.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. No, once we left Smoky Mountain, we were the spiders went away, and then we had a relationship with Axel Rotten. Axel had tie-ins with with Maryland Championship Wrestling. Back then it was MEWF. Before it was Maryland Championship Wrestling. And Axel brought us in. So we worked that whole Baltimore, Virginia area with him between there and going back and forth to Detroit before we signed with that first deal with WWE.
Tell the story also about painting your face black instead of wearing a mask. They said, no, let's go back to the mask. I love that.
So in USWA, we got to a point where for some odd reason, they didn't like the masks. Like Lawler didn't like the mask. Randy Hales didn't like the mask. So they came up to us and they said, we're going to have you guys do, if you lose, we were wrestling the Eliminators for the belts. We were in an angle with them. And it said if the Spiders lose, they have to take their masks off. So at this point, Glenn and I are like, oh, we're winning the belts. The whole gimmick is the mask. No one knows who we are. We got yelled at constantly if we were ever seen anywhere near a building or in a town without the mask on. So we're not going to make it take the mask off. So we get to TV, or no, we get to the Coliseum on Monday night, and Randy Hales comes up. He goes, you guys are losing tonight, and you're going to lose the mask. And we explain the same thing. We're like, how do we take the mask off? That's the whole gimmick. They're like, no, you're going to be Glenn and Chaz, the Spiders, moving forward. We're like, that's dumb. Doesn't make any sense. Like, we're going to be called Spiders, but we're going to have just our faces out there with these spider outfits on. And he was like, yeah. So we called Larry Sharp, and we were like, Larry, what should we do? He goes, you got a choice. You either do it and you keep working. He goes, or you don't do it. And then, then you get fired. So Glenn and I came up with this idea to paint our face under the mask. So we went, we painted our face. We had the big spider on our face. And then when it came time to take the hoods off, we took them off and the masks were off, but there was a big spider painted on our face. So the next night in Louisville, Randy Hales came up. He goes, hey, I told Lawler about you guys painting your face. He goes, he loved it. He wants you guys to now paint your face with the spider without the mask. And that's how you're going to wrestle. We're like, cool. Like, there's still a mystique with some kind of face paint or a spider on our face. So we were doing Spot Town that weekend. It was that Friday night. And Lawler's in the locker room, and Glenn and I go over to the sink, and we start painting our face. And we're like painting it. What we did was we painted our entire face black. We went total blackface. And then it was a big white spider on it like this. And Lawler comes over. He goes, the fuck are you doing? We're like, we're painting our face. He goes, your face is black. We're like, yeah, this is what we did. And Randy Hale said you liked it. He goes, I just thought you put like a spider like on your forehead or something. And we're like, no, this is what we did. He goes, you might as well just wear the masks then. So he said, okay. So we washed all the shit off. We put the masks back on. We get to TV the next day, and it was Headbangers versus the Eliminators. If the Headbangers don't win the titles, they leave town. We're like, okay, so that's we're done. And that's how our time in USWA ended, with the Spiders.
That's how the Spiders ended, huh?
Yes, in USWA, yes.
So were you already Headbangers then? The name Headbangers, did that come from you guys, or did that come later from WWE?
That came from Cornette. That came from Cornette when we went to Smoky Mountain.
Right, but you got to keep that.
We got to keep it, yes. Yes. Cornette went to, from what I understand, from what Cornette told us, we were actually going, he called us and he said, hey, he goes, I was talking to Vince. He goes, because they were in, I think it was Hartford. They were doing, it was right after Survivor Series of 96. They were doing TVs. And he goes, I talked to Vince, and I told him, hey, I got this tag team. They have this really cool, unique gimmick. He goes, they were down in Smoky Mountain with me. And he said Vince was in a good mood, and Vince went, so tell me about them. And he goes, well, you've seen them before. He goes, they've been up here for years doing jobs at Chaz and Glenn. They've been up here under masks as the Spiders. He goes, I had this whole heavy metal thing with they wear skirts and all this other stuff. And Vince looked at him and goes, I know exactly who you're talking about. He goes, they don't need to try out. Just put them under the part-time contract. That's when they had the part-time deal. And and that's how we got started. So he brought us in as the Headbangers. We did a few TVs, and then we did the Shotgun Saturday Night where they switched us to the Nuns. And then we got arrested staring at little kids in the Disney stores, the Nuns, and then switched back to the Headbangers. Yeah. So we had it before, and we were fortunate enough to bring it in, and Vince tried changing it, but it didn't work out. It stuck.
You showed a sack full of nuts when on your part-time contract when you went to Bruce, and when they were wanting to fight. Tell the story how you progressed from that part-time contract into what you thought was the dream contract to full-time until you got the details.
So the part-time deal was we got $500 for TV. And John, I think you guys back then got like $100 for TV or something like that, and you had to pay your own trans. So ours was, we got $500 for TV, and the office paid for our trans, hotel, rental car, everything. They paid for all that. So then, we're progressing, and we're doing house shows, and, we're getting over a little bit. And then WrestleMania comes, WrestleMania 13 in Chicago. We go over in that match. And then we see Shane that night, and we're like, Shane, we're still only part-time. We won at WrestleMania tonight. We're still only part-time. Like, don't you think we should get full-time deals? And he was like, why don't you guys just relax and enjoy the night? And I'm like, okay, but no, we're still only part-time, right? So we're like, we're peppering him. Like we'd see Bruce, we'd be like, hey, so what about like a full-time deal? And then it got presented to us that we were getting action figures. We had T-shirts coming out, and we were going to be on the new video game. And the part-time deal didn't have merchandise. So finally, Bruce came to us and he presented us with the full-time contract. And of course, we're excited. We're like, this is what we've been working for. This is what we've been waiting for. And we got it. And I took it home and I read through it. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's only $100 for TV and we got to pay our own trans. I'm like, we're losing money now. Like this is kind of, it's great. We have this full-time deal, but at the same time, we're going to lose money because that's when Raw was starting to go live it was live every Monday. So it was like, that's $2,000 compared to $400. So went back to Bruce the next week and kind of threw that out to him. And, being green and young and not really knowing what we were doing, we threw it out to him and he was like, all right. He goes, I guess I'll see what I can do. He goes, but no promises. And he's like, and then he stopped and he turned and looked at it. He's like, I thought you guys wanted full-time deals. You don't want to sign a 3-year deal. I go, no, we want a 3-year deal. He goes, what do you want exactly? I go, take our part-time contract, throw merchandise in it, and make it a 3-year deal. And he was like, all right, ask him for a lot. And I'm like, I got to ask. And it was like 2 days we didn't hear from him. Like 2 days you see him and not realizing, we're at TV and, Bruce is doing more important things than worrying about our stupid little contract with TV and all. And then finally,
no, he wasn't.
That's right.
No, okay. In my mind, Bruce Pritchard was busy.
Okay.
In yours,
he was busy. The perception.
He fooled a lot of people.
Yes, he did. Still is.
He still is. Yeah.
Still is. And then, he came back to us the next week. He goes, here you go. And we're like, what's this? He goes, it's exactly what you wanted. So they basically took our part-time deal, made it 3 years, made it a full-time deal, and then threw the merchandise in it. And it was kind of ballsy because they could have easily said, here, sign this, take it or leave it. And obviously I would have signed it anyway, but figured why not? Let's try it.
And what year was this?
That was 97. So we signed a part-time deal in November of 96. So this had to be the summer of probably May or June of 97.
Because that's
you guys go ahead, John.
That's when contracts first started coming in. Before that, they were the old booking contracts,
Right.
the 10 days a year, $150 a day. That was
So we didn't have the only guarantee we had under that was the 500 at TV. We had no guarantee of dates or guaranteed money at all except the 500 for TV.
I talked to Layfield and decided, giving me his word, he'd sign one of those contracts instead of going to WCW and talking to Dusty Rhodes. We probably would have given him TNT at the time. And he went home to his old man. His old man was a lot smarter than John. Let's see, how much are you getting there? He said, I don't know. And his dad said, you're signing a contract. I owed a handshake, and you're a dumbass or something.
Oh, yeah. Dad couldn't believe it. I'd been in Europe for 2 years. I come back, and Jerry talked me into it. I agreed to no money.
and agreed not to go talk to Dusty.
That's right.
Listen, that worked out kind of well for you, though, John. So
it worked out okay, but Dad didn't think much of my business acumen at the time.
No, I guess
you guys got to be thinking, man, this is great. We're part-timers. We're on part-time contract. We're going to WrestleMania. We got a match on WrestleMania. Not only do we have a match on WrestleMania, we're going over at WrestleMania. Yep. I mean, after WrestleMania morning, you guys got to be the only two guys that I can recall that were part-timers that got a WrestleMania match, number one. Number two, going over on it.
Yeah, going over was, and John, you probably don't remember this because you were in that match also with you and you and Barry as the Blackjacks. But I remember sitting in the meeting going, because we're thinking like, okay, so we're in this match, we're in WrestleMania, like it's already like the careers like mine's already blown because we're in WrestleMania, and then we were trying to figure out like, all right, so we'll be eliminated first, second, because we're trying to figure out like whoever won got a title shot. So we were thinking Doug and Phil or John, you and Barry were going over, like we like, all right, we're gonna get eliminated first. And then when you and Doug and Phil, when we were sitting there, like, oh, you guys are going to fill out for, I was like, shit, we're not getting eliminated first. I'm like, Godwin's must be making another run at the tag belts then because they're going to go over. And then when they said that, I literally remember sitting there just going, oh, Look, I had to cover my mouth because I was smiling so big and I was trying not to show it in front of everybody. I was trying not to be a big mark about it, but.
And that's when you, after a meeting, you guys went down the hall and jumped up and celebrated, right?
That was when we won the belts with Cornette.
That's when, okay.
In the hall. Yeah, Cornette took us. It was in Louisville in the 4-way match, and we got there, and Cornette says, "Here, come with me," and he takes us down into the parking garage, the bowels of the garden, and he's walking. We're like, "Shit, what did we do now, Jimmy? You got to bring us all the way down here. What kind of trouble are we in?" And he's like, "No, I just need to tell you something." And he goes, "I want to be the first one to tell you." And we're like, "Okay." He goes, "You guys are winning the belts tonight." And we were like, "Oh, cool." And he goes, "I brought you down here so you could jump around and get it out of your system now and not do it in front of everybody." So the three of us in the bowels of the Louisville Garden in the parking garage were jumping up and down and cheering.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Cornette for me was, I know there's a lot of different opinions about Cornette. My thing is, if you don't want to know the truth, don't ask him the question.
We love him, Eric.
Oh, we love him. Absolutely.
I love Cornette.
I still can't believe he came up with the headbanger gimmick. That's crazy.
And what the concert, that's what it still blows my mind.
Yeah.
I heard that story. I think you told it to me years ago. And I was my first Cornette was at a MOSH concert or a punk rock concert or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, between him, giving us the gimmick, the idea, the opportunity, and then making, the pitch to Vince, and then taking us down when we won the belts. Like he was just huge for us.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed Jimmy. I think he's fantastic.
Yes, I agree with you. He's amazing.
And the rants he goes on, to me, I don't know hardly anybody in the world that can do a rant like Jimmy does. And then at the end of it, somehow it all comes together and makes sense. It's just like that's crazy. He is so freaking talented.
Yes, it's so talented. It's amazing.
We all need a Jim Cornette in our life, bro. We really do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
If you're a fan of this business, you need a Jim Cornette in your life, just to kind of just set it, narrow it down to real life.
Yep, 100% true story.
And so, who did you win the titles from?
That was another 4-way match. It was actually Steve and Dude Love were tag champs, but that's when Steve hurt his neck working Owen at SummerSlam. And then so they put us in like that week before the match. So it was supposed to be Dude Love and Steve. It was LOD, Davey Boy, and Owen and the Godwins. And so we got thrown in their spot. And the finish was great because we're going for the stage dive. Davey pulls Glenn's foot, nuts himself, goes down. Owen backdrops me, goes to put me in the sharpshooter. And as he does, Steve comes running down. I push him off. He turns into Steve. There's the stunner. And I sit there and I look up. I look around at the crowd and I go, and just cover him and hook 1, 2, 3. And And then we jumped into the crowd. And then we were celebrating with the crowd, and then we got into the back, and they were like, "Now we're taking you out to the hot dog stand." So we were out there throwing hot dogs and soda at everybody. And we were like, "Well, where's the beer? What's this soda stuff?" So that was awesome.
and in the old Louisville Gardens.
Yes, that was all in the Louisville Gardens, which was great because kind of started there with USWA. That was where we were every Tuesday. So yeah, that was in Louisville Garden.
I remember walking down on the stage one time, and me and Ron were there, and the spotlight was directly in your eyes when you walked down on stage. And Ron had that deep voice, and he was going, "Can you find the ramp?" I go, I can't see nothing. And me and Ron are literally like touching the big tough APA are like touching our toes, trying to figure out if we're walking off the stage or what we're doing. It was brutal.
Yeah,
that's funny.
One of the chapters I really enjoyed in there too is your desire to go to Japan, and you almost made it there, but something happened. Kind of fill us in that chapter.
So it was when we left Smokey. We had an opportunity to go to Japan. So the angle was Glenn was going to go over because Glenn had been there before. So the idea was to take him over there. Have him do some stuff, and then to build an angle to bring me back. And it was his second to last night there, I think it was. He went to the top rope.
What company was this now?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think it was like New Japan or anything like that. I don't remember. Glenn went to the top rope, came off. The guy rolled in, and Glenn had to land funny. And when he did, he dislocated both elbows at the same time.
Oh.
So when he came back, he was rehabbing. So they were still working the angle. The angle was still there to bring me back. And then while he was rehabbing, and we were actually just really starting to get ready to do shows again, that's when Cornette called us with the part-time contracts, and we said, "Well, guess we're not going to Japan. Guess we're going up there." And then that's where we went. And to this day, I've still not been to Japan. So I'm still jonesing to get over there at least. Well, I keep telling everybody too. I tell Taka,
that's the reason I brought it up. Is just maybe if anybody's listening, please let's get Chaz to Japan.
One time I tell everyone like the guys, because when I go up to the PC for NXT, like the guys from Noah are there. I noticed a relationship with Noah. I'm like, listen, you don't have to pay me. Just pay my trans. Just give me one match over there. Let me go to Revere, get my jacket, and I'll be happy. And I'll be happy. I need my jacket.
Do they still have the Rivera jackets? Is that still a place?
It's still a thing, yeah. Because Hank and Tank, the tag team from NXT, they just went over and they were there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had the jackets. Yeah.
You know, Rivera didn't always give jackets.
No.
Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't.
Oh, listen,
it was strange. No, you'd get one. There's no doubt about it. But it was weird, kind of how they picked and choose. Sometimes, you'd go in there and they give jackets out like to certain guys they liked, and it was kind of strange. It was.
Was it babyface driven or heel driven?
No, I was more heel driven. Yeah, I was more heel driven. Yeah. They liked the heels. But it's funny because when he went in there, it was you kind of picked and choose who you were. I went there the first time with Bob Orton, and so I had to end from the very beginning when I first got there. But some guys went over there several times and never could figure out why they didn't get a jacket.
They get a jacket. Yeah. You get a jacket. You get a jacket. You do not get a jacket.
That's right.
You get a jacket.
Yeah, I would have bought one there. I got one.
Yeah.
It's like your rite of passage when I went over there. It went to Rivera jacket. It was a $30 cheap Seiko watch that you brought back.
Yeah. Just one time is all, and then I can. Because Glenn and I are planning on retiring from in-ring action in July this year. And
scoop right there. We got a scoop here on the show.
Big scoop, July this year. Do you have a last match planned, or do you have build up to it?
It's going to be July 23rd.
Is Gunther retiring you guys too?
Listen, that would be great because then we get a little more press. I was actually trying to get Matt Cardona to do it and Brian Myers because the way Matt is on social media, we'd get all kinds of coverage. But Matt and Brian, the week we were gonna do it in June originally, and we are gonna do it in conjunction with the Monster Factory. But I don't know what happened to Danny. Suddenly, the Monster Factory shut down and is no longer around.
Really? I got a great idea for you. Let's try to get somebody, and let's do it in Waterloo, Iowa, at the Dan Gable Museum.
Hey, that's actually a great idea. The home of the NWA.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah. You heard him, Jerry. He's in. All we got to do now is get two people to. We'll get Gunther and Gunther.
There you go.
Gunther and Gunther. I'm in.
I saw Gunther doing an interview with Michael Cole, and he looked at Cole.
We'll get some of the micros. I mean, the micros would be good.
Well, yeah, we'll get micros for you.
Yes,
the micros versus the biggers.
I would do it.
Yeah,
there you go, John. That's extra. Micros versus biggers.
Micros versus biggers. Yes.
Yeah, we'll just throw micros. We'll have like a micro throwing contest. Like this throw. We'll put harnesses on.
That's against the law in Florida now. You can't throw micros anymore.
Is it against the law in Iowa?
I don't know if they got any laws in Iowa.
I was gonna say, what law do they have laws in Iowa?
There ain't much in Iowa.
Say they don't have laws, do they? That's funny. But yeah, it's supposed to be.
Brisco died in Iowa a few years ago, and he ended up in the hospital. And I'm driving back and forth from the hotel. I got 4 tickets, and I didn't know there was a speed camera in all of Iowa, but apparently I had 4 tickets.
Iowa's technology is better than anywhere else, huh?
Apparently, nobody would believe it.
No, you wouldn't think that at all.
Yeah, so we got you all booked. We got the Headbangers versus the Micros.
I like it.
With Hornswoggle in the corner.
Hornswoggle can be the special guest ref. They got to make the Micros have to be mini Headbangers though, because then we can get them mini skirts to wear.
Well, now would you have the
I love that.
Would you have
get it, John? You're a Texan. You get that? Get a mini skirt for the minis.
Belly shirt.
He still doesn't get it, Chad. He's a Texan. He's slow. I'm sorry.
Well,
he just don't say the humor like I do.
It's not funny. That's why.
Okay, I know we'll get protested by the middies here for wearing midi skirts.
So the micros would be on your side, though. The headbanger micros would be on your side, I would think.
Yeah,
they would do the run in to help you.
Yes.
Our
Yeah,
kind
and
of
then-
like,
now we're coming up with something.
Yeah, so they would do that, and they would do that, and somehow they could hit Glenn with the stage dive.
Yes, absolutely.
Powerbomb leg drop. The micros hit us with the powerbomb leg. The double flapjack will get really high.
Yeah, and other micros will be like the LOD and
Right.
things like that.
Yeah, we bring the minis back.
Yeah.
Next thing he's trying to figure out how I can close on hell one of those middies. He'd have to get down on his knees.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
We're gonna get in trouble. Let's change the conversation there real quick.
Now, why are you choosing to have a last match?
It's just time. Glenn's not in the best shape. I did a show at a camp by my house last summer. The guy dropped me kind of funny, and I literally laid there. I'm like, "You're 54." Like, I was going up to the PC the next week. I'm like, if you're hurt, you can't go to the PC. You're not going to pass that little physical they give you. I was like, and I've always said I'll keep doing it as long as I'm having fun. The fun in the ring is kind of going away. The last couple of matches or shows Glenn and I did, I literally stood in the ring. I looked at him. I go, what are we doing? Like, it's just like, yeah, the money's nice. Don't get me wrong. The money's nice. And I was hoping we'd price ourselves out. We kept upping the price and they kept saying yes. But you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just time. I love going to the PC and working with, you know, the next generation. I love coaching. I love producing. I like, I guess, doing the stuff behind the scenes more now than I actually do in the ring. So the love of being in the ring and doing it is kind of maybe dwindling a little bit. And we just figured it's time. It's been 33 years. It's been 35 for Glenn. And yeah, that's kind of just the thought of it.
I took a bump just for the heck of it. I was having some fun in the ring with Jody Malenko and stuff. Took a bump, and it was really easy. Getting up was hard.
Yeah.
the bump though was no problem. The bump was real easy. Getting up took me about half an hour.
When I was up at the PC, I don't know, a couple months ago when I was there, and they do this drill when they're warming up, and they're like hitting the ropes, like crisscross, hitting the ropes, just cardio and warming up. And I was next to Carino, and I'm like, I want to do it. He goes, jump in and do it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I jumped in and I just started hitting the ropes. I'm running with them. Now I'm not thinking to myself, these are all like 22, 23-year-old kids who just came out of college. You know, I haven't done anything in a while. And got out of the ring. I was so blown up. And I was like trying not to hide. I woke up the next day, my hamstrings, my legs were on fire. I'm like, this is bullshit. I had to walk in the next day and act like nothing hurt. But
that's right. You can't.
Yeah, that sucks.
I didn't put it over at all. And I even took I was trying to show them how to take a backdrop. And I'm like, listen, you just jump and you just jump straight up. And like, you go, you take the ball. And they weren't getting it. And I'm like, I think I grabbed Johnny Moss. I'm like, Johnny, shoot me and give me a backdrop. And I took this big giant backdrop and I hit. And it was just like, John, like you said, you'd hit. And I was like, oh yeah, that was good. Boom. And then I laid there and I'm like, fuck, how do I get up?
Yeah, I can't move. I can't move. I literally can't move.
Yeah, it was the same thing. But I couldn't sell that either. I had to jump right up. But for a second, I was like,
you can't.
I had to pop right up and go, see, it's not that hard. And I walked away and Johnny's like, that hurt, didn't I? I go, shut up.
Yeah, Jody asked me, he said, you want to hit the ropes maybe more with your side? And I said, normally I do, but they hurt. I was hitting with a bag and I'm like, oh my God, who made these ropes so hard?
And I don't want to have that. I feel myself slowing down a little bit, obviously. And I know we can get through the match and have a good match and, you know, go at whatever pace and the speed doesn't really matter. I just don't want to have someone on the internet or someone go, oh, look, the Headbangers are in the ring. They look like shit and look how slow they are. And, you know, they can't go anymore. So I'm going to walk out on my own and not have it where, oh, we're not getting booked anymore. That sort of thing.
What happened to me was bullshit because somebody used AI and gave me like a big belly and made me look really slow. And so I thought it's got to be AI because that couldn't be me. And then they gave me a bald spot.
That's bullshit.
It's all AI. It's
the disrespect.
That's right. Somebody playing tricks with the camera.
Listen, all you got to do, John, is get in the ring and throw that big clothesline one time, and you can just walk out.
I'm down to one move. That's it. I got one move left.
All you need.
That's right.
It's
Well,
like,
And it doesn't include a bump, right?
no, it doesn't include a bump.
You know, when Honky Tonk Man, I don't know if he's still out there, but when he was doing, he'd get sat down with those guys. All right, you're allowed one bump. Choose it wisely. And that was it, man.
I
So
love it.
you're past that one bump. They're not even allowed one bump.
Oh no, no.
we did a three-way match for Tommy Fierro at ISPW in North Jersey, and there was his tag team champs who were called the Now. Then it was us, and it was the Powers of Pain, Warlord and Barbarian. So he booked it as the 80s versus the 90s versus the Now, and we're in the back. We're talking to Barb and Terry, and Barb starts calling this the spot with me. And I look at him like, hold on, you're like, I'm giving you a tackle bump, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. He goes, then we're gonna get up and boom, 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 boom. And I'm gonna bend over. You're gonna grab me. You're gonna give me a reverse neck breaker. And I stopped. I go, hold on. I go, I'm giving you 2 bumps. You're taking 2. And Terry grabs my shoulder. He's like, 15-year-old Chaz needs to calm down right now. Just listen to Barb. I go, I'm just shocked he wants to bump at all, other than bump for me. Like,
Yeah, because there's nothing you can do if he doesn't want to.
no, I was like, I just wanted to make sure we were on
If he tells you no bumps, I go, okay, cool. I wasn't even thinking about bumping you. You just bump me.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting for him just to bump me around. He's like running spots with me, and I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, are you sure?
Did you get through the spots with him?
We got through the spots. I got through it with goosebumps. I actually have it on video, and it was like the beginning was like I actually stopped. I looked out at the crowd. I was just covered in goosebumps. So like being in the ring with them, they're the 2 guys that are icons that I grew up watching. It was just it was amazing. I wrestled a singles match with Terry. Geez, one time down here in Boca at FAU, and I had to, whatever the company was, I had the belt. I was dropping it to Terry, and Terry was still jacked to the gills then. This was probably 15 years ago. And we get in the ring, and he's pressing me a couple 100 times, and then just tosses me. So I was talking to him about it that the same night it's the tag match. I was like, Terry, you want to press me again? He's like, no. He goes, you know what's funny? He goes, that night that you and I wrestled a singles match, he goes, it was the first time ever that his grandmother saw him work live in the ring. He goes, I was so jacked up. I go, so literally that's why you're able to press me over your head literally like 8 or 9 times with these. He goes, yeah. He goes, I was so jacked up. The adrenaline was going. I mean, literally, same thing. If I wanted to do something to Terry, he didn't want to take, there was no way I was taking it. If Terry wanted to throw me to the roof that night, he could have, I mean, he could have normally anyway, but he was even more jacked up because it was the first time ever his grandmom saw him live.
When I was training with the Brad Rangers up in Minnesota, I go to the gym. That was the name of it. It's like, well, that was the gym. He had like all these guys bench press 500 something pounds. It was just a freaking factory, Well, Terry was in there. Warlord was in there. He just signed with WB. He was huge at the time. I thought played a little pro football. I thought, I'm used to around big guys. I see him in there. He has 315 on it, 3 wheels on 345s, and a 2.5 for some reason. So we had 320 on there, which is, I'm thinking that's pretty meticulous. You're pretty micro when you're doing weights down to that little level.
Right.
And he takes it off the rack, walks back with it, 320, bends over, does bent rows with it, sits up with it, and just walks back and puts it back. I'm like, I'm in the wrong business. I can't do that. I've had 3 surgeries watching him.
Yeah. My balls dropped here in the story.
How strong he was.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, he was disgustingly strong. Yeah.
Back to this wonderful book, your road stories there, and you out of a mistake, or I don't know how it was a mistake, but you get on an airplane and you're assigned a seat in your first international trip, and you're thinking, man, this is bad. Tell us, fill us in on it.
Are we going to be honest about this story, Jerry, about how you were ribbing me?
Yeah.
This was a total Jerry rib on me. So, again,
he's a bad person.
He was my son, right? I mean, we can't leave that out, right? He called me dad all the time. My son, my road son.
From that point forward, I was his son. He was dad, and so it was my first overseas tour. Again, we're still part-time. This was like April of 97, whenever it was that Tiger took off in the Masters and won that Masters by incredible amount. So that we were going to Kuwait, and first of all, I hand Jerry my passport, and he starts laughing, and I'm like, "What's so funny?" He goes, "You look like Leave It to Beaver." And then, of course, later on, I'm called Beaver Cleavage. Thank you. But he hands me my ticket, and it's a first class ticket. And I'm like, I walk back and I go, "No, this is a mistake. Like, I shouldn't have this ticket." And he's like, No, it's fine. It's fine. And I'm like, I'm the new guy and I'm flying first class. And I know like Sean, Taker, they're in the back and I'm up front. I'm like, no,
15-hour flight.
Yeah. And I'm like, there's something wrong here. And so he's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. So now I'm petrified. I'm scared. Like something's going to happen to me. I'm waking up with one eyebrow or something. And I'm like, I can't sleep. And the guys are walking by. And then, of course, Glenn being Glenn, he's like, oh, look at the new guy up here sitting in first class. I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, don't bring more attention to me that's already here. And as I'm begging Al Snow, Billy Gunn, everyone. I'm like, do you want to switch seats? You want to switch seats? And they're like,
nobody.
No. And I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes. And then all of a sudden, here it comes around the other side. It's Ahmed Johnson. Boom, right next to me. Right next to me. And I went, now I get it. Nobody wanted
to sit next to Ahmed.
Nobody wanted to sit there because he was up there. I mean, it worked out fine. Like he was fine. There was no issues. There's no problems. It worked out to be perfectly fine. And then, I had my own little TV and everything, but yeah, now I knew why everyone kept saying no, because no one wanted to sit next to Ahmed.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Those international trips used to be so freaking wild.
Yes.
People talk about the plane ride from hell. That was nothing compared to what we had back in the 90s. They were all plane rides from hell.
Yes, they were. Especially when Dustin was in the back with his Tourette's. Yeah, that made it totally more interesting.
Dustin with Tourette's. We should have got that on TV. That was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about.
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, Jerry.
What was your favorite road story out there? Which one did you have no trouble at all just putting it down?
Probably the easiest and funniest one was the poor kid that got hit with water balloons. In USWA, we went on a water balloon kick. We had Axel and Ian Rotten staying with us. They drove with us, and we got into these water balloon things, like throwing water balloons at people. And some of the guys, you're driving down the window, you toss the water balloons, into their car. We got a kid, probably 2-3 in the morning. I say kid, he's probably like 16, 17. He's riding his bike, like, like I just left my girlfriend's house. I'm all happy. I just got laid, and bam, water balloon right in the face. The kid tumbles over. Of course, we just take off. We just keep going.
Is this just a random kid, right?
Just a random kid. Yeah, just somebody we decided to mess with. And Axel had this unkeen timing. Like Axel would sit in the back seat, or no, Axel was in the front. I was in the back seat right behind him. And he would be like, now. And I would just toss it like that. Just give it a little. And it like nailed every time. So it was probably a week or two later. We're in like, I don't know, a 7-Eleven, a convenience store. And here comes this kid into the store. He's all scraped up, arm in a sling. It was the same kid we hit with the balloon. He was all fucked up. Yeah. Then we had another one. We were driving. I think we were going from Louisville to Evansville. We were doing the same thing, tossing the water balloons. And just a random guy, he was driving, like coming up, and he was like laughing at us because we were having a war like with the Eliminators or whatever. We're throwing water balloons back and forth. And Axel, the same thing. He's like, Chaz, now. And I launched this water balloon as the guy's getting off the interstate going this way to exit. We're going this way, and I toss it. He had his window down, right through the window, hit him in the lap, and all you saw was the water explode. And the guy's hand comes out the window, and he just goes like this because there was nothing he could do because he was getting off the exit. The water balloons were fun. And I was about to say they're innocent, but I guess they really weren't that innocent.
No. You could have killed somebody. You could have killed that poor kid on the bicycle.
Yes, we could have. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Listen,
he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Vince, don't worry about it. He'll be fine.
It's the shit we do on the road to amuse ourselves. There was this other time, remember, we're driving and we're going down a highway, and it was Kane and Paul Bearer. And I'm like, I said to Glenn, I go, watch this. I go, I got to pee. So I'm in the passenger seat. I roll the window down and I stand up out of the window. We're doing 75, 80 miles an hour. And I whip it out and I start peeing. It's real funny until I realized the pee is going all over my arm and my clothes and back into the rental car. So there was pee all over.
Anybody sitting in the back seat getting to go to
No,
shower?
there's no one back there. It was just Glenn and I. But that would have made it funnier if somebody was in the back seat.
You know, the stuff we used to do was insane. Driving 80
and against the law.
100% against the law.
Listen, I'm just glad we didn't have these things back in the day because that would have
No
been.
kidding.
I hit Glenn and Paul Bearer one time and, riding down the road about, 70, 80 miles an hour. And Paul Bearer had Glenn pull over. He said, I'm going to walk. And Glenn is like, it's 10 miles to the town. And Paul Bearer said, I'm not getting back out there. I'm not. We terrorized him. And Glenn didn't care. Kane didn't care.
Oh, you didn't care?
Oh my God. Paul Bearer he hated it. So tell me about beaver cleavage.
Oh, of course you do. Yeah, so that's when Glenn was hurt. He had blown his knee. He was out having surgery, and we were just sitting home. And Bruce called me.
Of course, it's Bruce. He's a big beaver He's a big Leave It to Beaver fan.
Oh, great!
No, he is. I know
he is beaver.
He is. And we went to like Hollywood Studios or something one time, wherever they made it, and he wanted to see Beaver's house because he's a huge Beaver Cleaver fan. Seriously, so that all came from Bruce.
Oh, yeah. So he called me and he pitched me with the idea, and then he goes, Glenn's going to do this other evil doink thing or whatever. So at first I was like, well, this is kind of weird. Like I had never done singles matches. I've never done singles. I've done singles matches, but Glenn was always there. And really the only singles matches I had was when I first started down at the school. But at the same time, I was like, well, I've never done singles. Like could be an exciting opportunity for me to showcase something else. We did those crazy vignettes, which were so funny and so much fun to do.
They were awesome.
Yeah, they were great. And then, they killed it off as fast as they did. The problem I had with the whole thing was the girl that they put me with because we just didn't get along. And I sat her down. Like we went to this house, I don't know, somewhere in wherever it was, Connecticut or something. We did all the vignettes. Didn't get a chance to talk to her. And then the first TV, we sat down and I said to her, I got her that later that night. I said, listen, I said, here's the deal. I said, you can't go around and like sleep with any of the boys. Like, keep quiet, kind of keep to yourself. Like we can drive together. And the idea I had in my head was that's kind of when Hunter and China were starting to work together and they were always together and they didn't mess around with anybody else. I'm like, you don't want that reputation in the locker room right off the bat. Like stay away. And then I found out the next day she's out and I won't say who, but yeah, she slept with one of the guys. And I was like, what the fuck? She's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And right then and there, I was a total turnoff for me. And back then I didn't look at it as a business. I was just like, hey, I'm here and I have a job. As long as I do what I'm asked and I do what I'm supposed to do and I don't get in trouble, I have a job for life. And didn't look at it as a business, but looking back as a business, I should have pulled her in and embraced her because anyone who had a female with them at that point was kind of getting a little bit pushed and was really getting used. And I just didn't like her. I didn't want to be around her. So I was trying to do everything I could to get away from her. But looking back, I kind of thought this back then too, but even more now, like looking back and actually writing a book, I think the beaver thing would have gotten over, but I think it would have gotten over enough to allow me to have evolved from beaver into something else.
Into something else, yeah.
Yeah, into something else. And then even when they killed it off and they were like, oh, you're going to be Chaz. You're going to be this kid from New Jersey who's just happy to be here. And I kind of went, okay, but who's Chaz? Like, what do I do in the ring? Like, I didn't really know what to do because, moves, skill sets, things like move sets, things like that were all based around tag team, maybe doing one move and tagging Glenn in, doing one move, tagging back in, backing out. I just wish I would have maybe had a little bit more business thinking about it and asked to go back and be MOSH. Like, well, let me be MOSH because MOSH is an established character and then still bring her in. She can stay with me, but to do something different. And then if Glenn came back, then we were the Headbangers. We had a banger babe with us because Glenn and I always joked around about getting a girl so we'd call her the banger babe. And, it could have evolved that way. But I just didn't know enough. And then with the idea of when they did the angle with me beating her or whatever it was, and then I just knew it all was leading to Glenn coming back. So I kind of just let it ride instead of looking back. Now I think that was the opportunity that I didn't see, that I missed, because if you think about it, like Sean took off from the Rockers, Brett took off from the Hart Foundation, Edge took off. Like that could have been my opportunity to really take off as a singles wrestler, and I just missed it because I didn't see the opportunity. And I was young and just insecure and probably half afraid of it, because there was times like in the locker room when I was by myself, like when I had Glenn with me, I had that security blanket. But when I was by myself, I was like, oh, who do I talk to? What do I do? I wasn't very personable, I guess, like small talk and things like that. I was very introverted and kind of kept to myself all the time. So I just think that was an opportunity that I missed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure it does. Yeah, I got lucky. Vince stuck a couple of different people with me that I didn't know. He stuck Jillian at Hall with me, and Jillian's fantastic, wonderful person. I got real lucky. Amy Weber was with me. She was a very talented young lady. I got really lucky. You don't know when you get stuck together like that, if there's a personality conflict or not, because you haven't come up together. It wasn't like you and Glenn,
Right.
It just all of a sudden now you're put together with another person, and you don't know how it's going to work.
Right.
It's a real crapshoot sometimes.
Yeah. I even look back at, because part of putting the book together, I went back and watched like some videos and things like Timeline. And when they did a thing with her and I where they found her with Stasiak, like me cheating on me. And then like Terry came down and Terry and her were fighting, and then Stasiak and I were fighting. Like looking back at that, I'm like, shit, Terry and I could have just taken off together, because I knew her, I trusted her. It would have been easy to work with her on camera because we both got it. Just to me, I get, again, the whole Beaver thing was fun. And, it's obviously spoken about still today about one of the worst gimmicks in the history of gimmicks, which is fine. I don't really care.
Bruce loves it.
It was a missed opportunity.
I love it.
Jerry loves it.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I liked it. My head was, because people say to me now, like, oh, you hated that. I go, my head was buried in boobs every night on TV. Like, how bad?
Yeah, how could you hate that?
How bad was it?
Now, is that a story you want to tell your son or what?
No, that story's in the book. So yeah,
that story's in the book. Yeah.
Think about what you had.
Speaking of the book, this is it here.
Yep, you had beaver cleavage versus meat.
Yes.
I mean, we had some crazy shit back in the day.
We did.
I mean, there was just no rules. There was just no, guardrails on anything we did. It's just like whatever you wanted to come up with, if it was entertaining, just do it.
Yeah, no guardrails, no nothing. And, there was no PC. There was literally no nothing. There were no rules. It was great.
Right. Just do whatever you want. Just get over.
Yeah. Just get over.
That's literally all it was.
Yep.
So how's the book doing?
It's doing well. It's actually doing a lot better than I expected. Yeah, it's doing a lot better than I expected. I think so I was kind of keeping track between, because you can get it on Amazon or you can get it on my website, chazmosh.com. So between the two, and now it's on Kindle. So between all of that, I think just this month alone, I'm close to like 100 books, which to me is amazing. And then overall, I think I'm pushing like 500, but it's only been out since December 15th is when you could actually start ordering it. Right. So I'm pretty happy with it. And it's leading into different project ideas. I have different ideas, different projects I want to kind of feed off of this and stuff like that. And I do a lot with nonprofits down here. So it's given me even more of a reason to talk to kids and meet with them about different things in the book and different opportunities. Like my biggest thing with it is just like not being afraid of who you are and like overcoming these insecurities and trying to be, because again, if I was able to overcome that, or if I had someone who even came up to me, see, Dad, where were you here? You could have came up to me during the singles run and been like, Chaz, this is an opportunity right now. Like you really should take this and embrace it and run with it. It may have been different, but
he was too busy trying to make you sit by Ahmed on a 15-hour flight.
Yeah, that's it, son.
Yeah.
So are you doing the audio version of the audio?
I am working on it. So yes, and I'm going to do the audio myself. I could easily throw it into AI and have an AI voice do it, but I think me doing it myself with the different tones and things like that, I think I can get the emphasis across.
Well, you know the emotion of the story, so I think that's even better. So.
Yes.
Has there been anything that surprised you by writing the book or since the book has come out?
Actually, yes and no. It's actually surprised me, and actually Pete told me this. Pete said you'll be surprised at some of the people who constantly ask you about the book who actually buy it, and then he goes, you have other people who will act like the book doesn't exist, and he was dead on. And some of the people that have like reacted or like bought the book, like I was back up at the PC, and there was a couple of the kids in there who had the book, and I was like, oh shit, like. And then there's other people that I'm close with who haven't asked me about the book or anything, and I thought some of those would have been like the main people looking to get it or buy it, right off the bat. So that's probably been the biggest surprise. And like I said, Pete nailed it right on. Pete told me that was going to happen, and he was right.
Well,
your road dad, as soon as he saw that advertised on X or whatever that's called, or sent you a text and say, "Hey, come and promote your book." So
yes, and then
the best part, he signed it for us.
Yes,
which is what I requested because I wanted that for my library forever.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Well, Chaz, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. I know we took a ton of your time, but
it's all good.
It has been a lot of fun. And we even booked your retirement match for you with the micros up in Waterloo, Iowa.
Yes, you did. I'll have to get in touch with Cody over there and talk to him about putting that together. We'll get together with Chief Littlefoot and Psycho and all those guys. Yes.
We'll get a whole ring full of micros.
Yeah, we'll get you there. We'll get Dad there. We'll get Pete. Pete's got to be there. Pete's got to see it too. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's going to be a big brawl between the biggers and the micros.
Yes.
Well, Chaz, tell us one more time where you can get all your book and all that stuff.
You can get the Kindle version at Amazon.com. If you want it, you can get the book there also. Or if you want it autographed, you can go to my website, ChazMosh.com. You can get the book there, and ChazMosh.com has like things updated, constantly updating what I'm doing. There's a calendar there for shows and appearances we're doing. So just go ChazMosh.com and pretty much everything's there. All social media is ChazMosh.com. So, there's all the updates are out there.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chaz.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys.
Thank you, son.